Hi, I'm Mr. Rush and I'm an English teacher.
Hi, I'm Miss Baxter.
And I'm Miss Papandrea.
And we're PE teachers.
Hello, I'm Kayla and I'm almost 13 years old. I've grown up a bit quicker compared to others in my grade, but it's cool because now I'm the tallest player on my basketball team. PE and visual arts are my favourite subjects at school. I hope to do a visual arts degree at uni if I get the marks. I'm pretty bad at maths and science though. I just don't get it anymore. I sometimes skip class, especially if I haven't done my homework. My parents wouldn't be happy if they found out though. They always tell me how important my education is because they didn't get to go to school in their country. My year 9 friends think my dad's accent is funny. My boyfriend always tries to mimic him when we're hanging out.
Kayla is experiencing a range of biological developmental issues which are quite normal for female adolescents during this stage of life. Most evidently, Kayla's growth spurt has begun much earlier, making her taller than other students in her class, especially the boys. She is one of the first in her year to hit puberty, meaning she has developed pubic hair and breasts, along with reaching menarche. This has made Kayla feel more grown up than her peers, which has affected her both emotionally and behaviourally. She has started to experience mood swings and act out of character, like missing Clark. Kayla is also experiencing hormonal changes, with an increase in sexual attraction towards others and a desire to explore her sexual identity. She has started to experiment with relationships, having a new boyfriend in the scene who is 2 years above her. As an early maturer, Kayla is more susceptible to risk factors such as negative body image, depressed mood, eating disorders, substance use, school problems, and conflicts with parents, with the last two already emerging now. Kayla was once really close with her parents and told them everything. Now she is having trouble communicating with them and feels less comfortable in their presence. Being of a different cultural background, her parents have grown up with different notions, rituals, and views on puberty, so have had difficulty relating to Kayla at this stage of her life.
Adolescence is a period of continued brain growth and maturation. Piaget's theory of cognitive development describes the general changes in the brain structure and problem-solving abilities that take place during childhood and adolescence. There are 4 prominent stages in Piaget's framework. However, we're going to focus on the final 2 stages which relate to Kayla's cognitive development. These are the concrete and the formal operational stages. Due to Kayla's age and mental capabilities, we concluded that she is transitioning from concrete operations to formal operations. Even though the formal operational stage is most relevant to adolescence, it seems that Kayla has difficulties with thinking in abstract and logic ways. This is evident through her troubles in understanding and remembering maths and science content, which are subjects that involve high-level thinking, hypothetical scenarios, and systematic applications of equations and theories.
People actively construct their own meanings through social interactions and experiences. Let's take this constructivist view with Kayla. By doing so, we acknowledge that Kayla, including all of her current perceived problems, is a construct, as we all are, built of the countless influencing factors from within her habitus. Kayla's early maturation can be identified as a biological risk factor, although, because of the interconnectedness of Kayla's biopsychosocial situation, her biology has social implications. When we consider the risk factors Kayla faces, including low socioeconomic status, her alienation from peers of her own age, and her becoming less engaged with her studies, it would seem that, without intervention, the developmental cascade spells a future of turmoil. Conversely, her schooling and her supportive parents may be drawn upon as protective factors that are utilised to support Kayla's social development. Unfortunately, Kayla has fallen in with a crowd who are known to use drugs. This isn't good because Kayla's peer group is of crucial importance to her social and moral development. The people Kayla identifies as friends may determine her ideas about what is normal and acceptable behaviour. Essentially, the quality of the identity that Kayla is building may be either negatively or positively affected depending on the company she keeps as she transitions from childhood to adulthood.
The combination of biological, cognitive and social factors interact to influence risk and resilience in adolescence. This is known as the biopsychosocial approach. This framework suggests that we cannot consider these factors individually. Instead, we must consider how each factor interacts with another. Therefore, the biopsychosocial approach provides us with a starting point in formulating a range of strategies to assist Kayla at school. We have developed an intervention strategy that is a combination of strength-based and cross-disciplinary approaches.
The design's adapted from the 3 R's approach, which are resilience, responsiveness and reflexivity. This approach highlights the need to address these interrelated factors at an institutional, community and individual level. Our adaptation of this is to help Kayla on a school, classroom and individual level.
Kayla's teachers from her strong subjects and not so strong subjects have a meeting.
It's an orchestrated approach across the subjects. With reference to the strengths-based approach, teachers recognise her strengths and our areas of improvement.
They deliberate on how they will link sport with maths
and visual arts with science in their lessons.
The art teacher collaborates with Kayla and her parents in a second meeting. This reinforces that Kayla's education is a priority across the school and home context.
Kayla's attendance at the meeting is significant because her involvement in determining her educational direction is empowering.
Within the classroom, Kayla's teachers can rethink the ways in which they present their content to Kayla in order to cater to her learning needs. For example, the maths teacher might use ratios and areas in a sporting context.
And art links with science because visual diagrams can represent abstract ideas like elements and simple molecules in chemistry. The best teachers are flexible teachers. They show reflexivity by recognising what has worked and adapting what doesn't work within the classroom.
Also within the classroom, peer work strategies can enhance Kayla's social affiliations at school.
In-class group work involves Kayla with same-age peers, in turn promoting positive learning experiences and social networks with students her own age. Kayla's early biological maturity is being used as a strength rather than a disadvantage.
The intervention promotes Kayla as a leader in class and in sport, which we think will cascade into the social sphere.
The PE teacher will call on Kayla to captain a sporting team if she wishes because she's capable and we don't expect it to make her vulnerable in this situation. We've made it clear that the support for her in maths and science is assured and have sought Kayla's agreement to enter a learning contract whereby her attendance and participation in class will be rewarded with access to art facilities to establish a personal art portfolio.
This idea scaffolds her avenue to university. This contract and reward system aims to increase Kayla's self-esteem and resilience at school.
Her responsiveness to the program will be monitored, and although the teacher support won't be withdrawn, rather it'll be modified when needed.
These modifications are another demonstration of teacher reflexivity, which constitutes to the third R in the 3 R's approach. My personal model is informed by the biological and cognitive developmental differences between male and female young people. Adolescents experience great changes due to puberty. The same sort of physical changes occur in both genders, but their timing differs accordingly. For example, girls typically hit their final growth spurt at 15, which is about 2 years earlier than boys. Boys also experience greater muscular growth and increased strength compared to girls, because of the higher levels of testosterone in their bodies. These height and size differences must be considered when teaming students in practical PE lessons. In saying this, PE theory classes are typically programmed several days, even a week apart for some schools. As a future teacher, I want my students to have a rich bank of content knowledge, as well as practical experiences. However, this cannot be possible if they don't remember content from lesson to lesson. This unit has presented multiple strategies to improve cognition in adolescents, and I aim to apply these throughout my teaching career. By starting each lesson with a brief reflective task, where students refresh what they have learnt from the previous lesson, creates knowledgeable links to what will be involved in the present lesson. Also, providing a summary at the end of the class further reiterates the main ideas in the lesson. And so, covering content over a variety of contexts and through various resources embeds knowledge in the long-term memory storage of my students. Therefore, my teaching approach has evolved over the course of this semester due to the information presented to the Adolescent Development and Teaching Unit.
During this semester, my ideas about the kind of teacher I want to be have become clearer. My own experiences as a student have shown me that good teachers are respected by their students because they manage to balance regulating the classroom with giving students freedom and respect. Surely giving anyone a voice within an environment of safe expression is an environment conducive to critical thought and frank discussion. In my KLAs of English and History, this, I think, is the ideal learning environment. So my teaching philosophy is inspired by views like that of Epstein's, that adolescence is a social construct that's made more difficult than it has to be because of the restrictive, controlling treatment imposed on kids. The national teaching standards say a highly accomplished teacher will develop a culture of high expectations for all students. Well, if a teacher doesn't expect a student to understand and learn or engage in class, this attitude will be manifest in their behaviour and will reinforce any misgivings the student has about their own education. And this goes to what Epstein says about infantilising adolescents. Treating people as though they're incapable is often a self-fulfilling prophecy. In fact, Epstein's view, as shared by Jay Guide, is that adolescents benefit from positive peaks in memory, immunity, and a tolerance of fluctuations in their environment. So adolescence isn't a problem. Kids are capable, resilient, and ready to learn, but they require teaching to match their condition. As the battle between the frontal lobe and the limbic system rages, the former saying concentrate, the latter saying procreate, as teachers we must excite, engage, and challenge students, and that's just to get their attention. And challenging kids is a great way to engage and excite them. Vygotsky says to make them vulnerable to not knowing and to draw them beyond their established schemas, out into what he calls the zone of proximal development. My teaching philosophy is about scaffolding learning with lots of peer group work and robust discussion, building a real sense of agency. Vygotsky's idea entails knowing each student's level of knowledge, knowing the curriculum content, and thorough lesson planning. But a teacher who respects their students will relish this challenge.
As an outcome of this unit, I now have a deeper understanding of pedagogical theories relevant to adolescent development and own a wider skill set to put these into practice. It has laid a solid foundation for me as a future PE teacher with the strategies I will use to support and promote student learning. This unit has allowed me to understand the journey adolescents experience as they mature, develop and meet milestones. Effectively, it influences the way I will relate to, interact with and teach students. Learning about the order of pubertal events was one concept that really stuck with me in identifying and dealing with issues relating to students going through early and late development. Learning about the differentiation in development rate, both physically, mentally and socially with links to behavioural traits was very valuable. It changed my perception on how to comprehend student behaviour and then in turn how to manage it within a classroom. As a future PE teacher, one core aspect of this unit which I will take forward is the importance of collaboration and cooperation between student, parent, teacher and other professionals. If everyone is on the same team, I strongly believe this will create the best possible outcome for the student. Having this open line of communication is also imperative to ensure the most current and effective strategies are used to promote healthy and supportive development for the student.